Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to teach you how to reduce the echo in a room. Right now we're on the 3rd floor in Alli's soon-to-be office. So I'm going to take a DIY approach to help reduce the echo in this room so that the audio sounds better when she's recording videos. This is my daughter Amelia, 4 months old. You can see she's drooling pretty heavily, but she's going to be my office assistant today. Thank you for rubbing all your saliva all over my shirt. So that's what we're doing today. Let's jump into the video. She was actually making a little bit of noise as she's getting cranky, so we put her to bed. The first thing we're gonna do is put up a blanket like this. These aren't professional sound blankets. You can buy sound blankets. They use them on film sets to reduce the echo. We're using moving blankets. They're a little thinner and they don't come with the grommets installed, but on Amazon they sell a grommet kit. We'll link it down below. So you can turn your moving blanket into essentially a professional sound blanket. Overall, it's fairly simple to do. We'll start with installing the grommets. The grommet tool is really sharp, so when you're using a hammer to cut out the little hole into the fabric, make sure you put a piece of wood under it so that you're not damaging the surface you're working on. Find the corner, you place it onto the piece of wood. The grommet comes with 3 tools. You have the first one that has the sharp bottom. That is used to cut out the hole, so we'll do that first. And you just go enough times until it punctures a hole into the fabric. And then you have these next 2 tools. One goes at the bottom and then one goes at the top. So we'll set that underneath. So you grab the 2 pieces. The larger one goes on the bottom, and then you feed your hole through, and then you put this piece on top, and then you grab the other tool. And what that does is it folds the edge of the bottom piece around the top one, and you then have one grommet complete. So I'll spare you from having to watch me do all 8 of the other grommets on the 2 moving blankets. Let's just jump into the next part of the video. Now that we have all of the grommets into the other 2 sound blankets, we're gonna start drilling holes into the ceiling in order to put the hooks in, and then we'll start to hang the sound blankets. So I have my drill here, and it's much smaller than the actual thread size of the hook, and that's important because we just want to make it enough that we can start to screw the hook into it, but we don't want it large enough that the hook falls out. So it's just enough for it to grab. Now I've already figured out the measurements for the sound blankets and this room for where I want to place things. Let's go over here and drill this. And then I've already drilled the other 2 holes at around 71 inches, which makes sense for the sound blanket size that I have. Next, we will grab our hooks and you just screw them up into it. All right, now let's hang the sound blanket into the 4 hooks that we just put into the ceiling. We'll have the black side facing down. All right, so now we have 2 on the ceiling. So how it works, for example, if you're recording a video and you're talking to the microphone's gonna pick up whatever sounds are in the room. When you're speaking, the sound of your voice is gonna come up, hit the sound blanket, then there is an air gap between the ceiling. That'll help dissipate the audio even more. And by that point, it's a lot less of an echo than if you had no sound blanket in the room at all. So I have 4 sound panels hung up now on the ceilings and walls of Alli's office here on the 3rd floor. Now, this should help quite a bit with absorbing a bit of the echo that was in this room initially. If you're at the desk here, try to think about the way you have your room set up, the way you're going to be filming, and work around that setup so that you're not showing the sound blankets in your shot. This isn't the best looking solution, but it's cheap and it does work pretty well, and it's pretty easy to do. Now, of course, there are many different ways you can reduce the echo in a room, and it's very different from soundproofing a room. I did another video on soundproofing a room where I used acoustic board and layers of drywall and insulation, and that works really well from the sound traveling in and out of the room. However, it won't decrease the echo. In fact, having just bare drywall will increase echo because flat surfaces like drywall will do a really great job at bouncing sound back into your microphone, and of course that is not a good thing. So the solution to that is by simply filling up the room with a lot of stuff, such as adding a carpet, a couch, a chair, a desk, a whole bunch of cabinets, and as much large items as you can that aren't really hard and reflective in terms of the sound bouncing off them. So softer materials, you could put up large curtains around the window. Basically, the more stuff you have in the room, the better. And then beyond that, you can do the DIY approach, which is what we did in this video by creating our own sound blankets and hanging them. Or you can go the professional route of building sound panels or buying sound panels and hanging them on the wall. We're actually doing that in our studio. We're building about 35 or so sound panels, and it's going to take a while to build them and hang them all on the wall. So I'll save that for another video, but you get the point. There are so many different ways that you can reduce the echo in a room. I can hear Amelia crying downstairs, so I think we'll end the video there. I hope you found this helpful. It's really easy to treat your room and it's pretty inexpensive. I'll leave links in the description for the things we used in this video. Hit the subscribe button to stay connected with us. We have over 70 other filmmaking tutorials on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.